In the sweltering summer heat, even a few minutes locked in a hot parked car can prove extremely dangerous for children. Unfortunately, people are still leaving them and they're helpless. Nissan has tackled the issue head-on by introducing a feature that uses its rear door to know when you may have left some precious cargo in the back seat of a parked Nissan, alerting the driver to go back and double-check. Developed by Nissan engineers Elsa, Foley and Marlene Mendoza, the idea came to Mendoza when she left a pan of lasagna in her car's back seat one day, apparently leaving quite an aroma that lasted for days. Mendoza, being a mother of 3, wondered what would have happened if she had forgotten more than lasagna in her car that day. Hence, the rear door alert was born. The system monitors the rear door switches at the beginning and end of a trip to determine whether or not something, or more crucially, someone, may be left back there as the driver walks away. The critical use case here, presumably, is if the rear door was opened and closed at the beginning of the journey, but not the end. In that event, the Nissan alerts the driver first with a display on the dash, then a series of distinctive chirps of the horn. Nissan said the feature will come as standard on 2018 Albanian Lex Pathfinder crossovers due out this September and will make its way, eventually, to other Nissan products. Of course, not everybody who buys a Nissan regularly hauls children around, so the system can easily be disabled or configured. For single and childless people that do decide to leave it on though, I guess it means way fewer instances of going back to retrieve forgotten Amazon packages thrown in the backseat or, you know, mother-prepared pans of lasagna.
With temperatures at their summer peak, the U.S. Senate is pushing a bill that would require automakers to include rear seat alarm technology. Child advocates are hoping that such a reminder will prevent parents from leaving a child in the rear seat of a hot car. Today Nissan announced it is ahead of the game with the new Rear Door Alert, RDA. The technology detects if the rear door was open prior to starting the car. If the door is not reopened after the car is put in park and the ignition turned off, it sets off a series of warnings. First, a visual warning is given in the gauge cluster. If the driver doesn't respond, the car will take it one step further and give the horn a series of chirps. For those of us who use the back seat just for groceries, gym bags and other non-living items, RDA can be configured or turned off completely from the instrument cluster. GM also offers a similar technology, called Rear Seat Reminder, with a visual alert in the gauge cluster and 5 chimes, similar to a seatbelt warning. Nissan's decision to use the horn as the audible warning takes it up a whole other level. More than 24 child and safety groups support the Nissan bill in the Senate. Advocacy group Kids in Cars says that since 1998, an average 37 children per year that have died due to heat stroke from being left in a car. That's one every 9 days. Nissan's Rear Door Alert will debut as standard fare on the 3-row 2018 Pathfinder when it goes on sale in September. Expect it to roll out on other models in the coming years.
You can get the full-size Nissan Titan pickup with a Cummins diesel engine, but you can still get it with the 5.6-liter V8 that made it popular in the first place. We tested the diesel last year and it was a great truck-motor combo, but there is something comforting about the good old 8-cylinder under the hood. This week, we'll kick the tires on the 2017 Nissan Titan V8. Under the hood is the aforementioned 5.6L V8 you've come to love applied here in the Nissan Armada SUV. It's also available in some of the other work truck applications. Power is rated at 390 horsepower and 394 pound-foot of torque, mated to a 7-speed automatic and auto 4-wheel drive. Stepping on the throttle produces a satisfying growl and kick in the seat as you are launched forward. Also, the 7-speed auto is very well behaved and slides through the gears effortlessly. Exterior styling is aggressive and pronounced. It's got a chrome mesh grille for the Platinum Reserve trim and looks a bit too flashy for my personal taste. The blue and gray color scheme on the loaner is a winning combo, though. For a full-size, 4-door pickup. This is a tall and beefy vehicle. You'll need to practice in some parking lots to get your feel where everything is located. Inside is fit for a king, but that's par for the course when you are in this level of pickup. Everything is leather, the tech is top-notch, and the feeling of importance abounds. These trucks are becoming mobile offices for project managers, site coordinators, and owners of construction companies. People seem to want something capable on the worksite but also as comfortable as the office for when they need to work in the field. The one thing my wife commented on was the old-style gear selector up on the steering wheel stalk, just like the old Chevys. It's got push-button start-stop, Bluetooth, and the whole shebang, but the old-style shifter is nostalgic. Legroom is plenty anywhere you look, front or back. You will never need to ask someone to adjust. My loaner was the crew cab version with 4 full doors, which works well for my family in getting the kiddos in and out. Car seats attach with no problem, and they love sitting up high. I was able to haul some furniture and other odds and ends while I had the truck, but nothing too massive. There is a small step that folds from the corner of the bumper to allow easier access, and it does function well. On the road, the V8 is plenty of power and it handles urban driving pretty well. These trucks are becoming more of a family vehicle as well as a contributor on the job site. You can load this with work material, log into your laptop and charge something while you work in the field. Or you can load up the family, pack your luggage and head to the coast. When driving, it feels like a large SUV, but when you hit rough terrain and potholes, you are reminded of the truck frame underneath. I enjoy pickup trucks and will most likely have a smaller truck in my life soon, but for folks looking for a loaded full-size V8 truck, the Titan deserves a fair shake. Nissan claims 18 mpg average, and I was able to manage 19.5 during my test drive. Final cost for the Platinum Reserve is $56,595.
Nissan is something of a quiet achiever in the SUV genre, in New Zealand and around the world. Seems like a long time ago now, but in 2008 Nissan NZ replaced its core family car, the Primera, with an SUV called the Qashqai. It was a matter of necessity because the British-built Primera had come to an end. NZ was the last right-hand drive export market for it. But Nissan NZ went in boots and all, unashamedly offering the Qashqai in 2WD only and making no apologies for it being the new mainstream choice. The second-generation Qashqai, 2013, also spawned the current X-Trail. Formerly a rather functional SUV, the third-generation X-Trail is based on the same platform as Qashqai and has evolved into more of a crossover. Softer styling, more emphasis on family-friendly features, including a 7-seat option on some variants. Nissan still argues the two are very different models, but think of the X-Trail as a scaled-up, powered-up Qashqai and you're not far off. In the United States, the two even have the same name. The X-Trail is known as Rogue, while the smaller car is the Rogue Sport. Admittedly, that's because Nissan was worried Americans would have trouble pronouncing Qashqai. But hey, who doesn't? Relative age in the competitive Kiwi SUV market means the X-Trail has slipped well down the local sales charts these days. There are 11 SUVs in NZ's top 15 models year to date, but X-Trail only just sneaks in at number 14. Ignore it at your peril, though. The X-Trail Rogue was still the world's biggest selling SUV last year, ahead of the Honda CR-V, Toyota RAV4, Hyundai Tucson and China's Haval H6, soon to be launched in NZ. Qashqai is a global top 10 seller in its own right as well. A facelift for 2017 has sharpened the X-Trail up a little. The front end has new V-shaped grille that aligns it a little more with the larger Pathfinder. There are new bumpers front and rear, the obligatory shark fin antenna and some interior tweaks, including an optimistically sporting flat-bottom steering wheel. The range is still comprehensive, starting at $39,990 for the Street 2WD 7-seat model. But our $53,490 T4WD test vehicle is top of a tree. You still can't have a T or any kind of 4WD X-Trail with 7 seats, but this flagship model does help justify its price with unique equipment that includes LED lights, adaptive, automatic high beam, adaptive cruise control, lane departure warning, intelligent lane intervention, autonomous braking with pedestrian detection. Street L models and above have a less sophisticated autonomous braking system plus forward collision warning, blind spot warning and rear cross traffic alert, panoramic sunroof, motion-activated power tailgate with height memory, automatic wipers, heating for the steering wheel plus front and rear seats, and premium Bose audio. It's a comprehensive package of standard equipment when balanced against the $6,000 premium over the Street L4WD. If you're the curtain-twitching kind of neighbor, you can identify the T by its 19-inch alloys and a chrome strip along the door sills. The X-Trail T is still a hard sell against more modern SUVs like the Mazda CX-5 Limited, $55,495, and Kia Sportage GT line, $51,990. The powertrain seems merely adequate in such a steam company, and although continuously variable transmission technology has its fans, and a few expert proponents in the car industry, Nissan's iteration fails to inspire. It's languid at low speed and still suffers from unfortunate flaring when you're pressing on, although Nissan has engineered some intelligent engine braking into its latest Stronic. The chassis is capable, though. It gets a bit of help from some electronic gubbins, including intelligent trace control, essentially torque vectoring by braking that helps keep the chosen cornering line. Nissan does also have the knack of providing a good 4WD setup. The X-Trail's all-mode 4x4i system might be a mouthful, but it gives you plenty of options: 2WD only, on-demand 4WD, and even a 4WD lock that splits the torque 50/50 front to rear for actual off-roading, along with a hill start assistance function. If the X-Trail T does have a clear advantage over its obvious rivals, it's in size. It's at least 140 mm longer than a CX-5 or Sportage, with 100 liters more boot space, and it does have the demeanor of a larger SUV. The extra millimeters are not an issue in parking. Street L models and above have a 360-degree camera system. The interior styling is dated in these days of reductionism. It looks more like somebody applied a shotgun blast of switches to the dashboard. But X-Trail is spacious nonetheless, and rear seat passengers get the benefit of theater-style seating. There are some clever packaging features too. The second-row seats slide, fold, 60/40, and recline, and the boot floor is split into two separate sections. Lift them up and you have either a couple of secret compartments for valuables, or you can click a partition vertically into place to keep loose items from rolling around in the boot.